Well, welcome back, everyone. It's our newest episode of They Are Not From Philly podcast. Myself, Adam from Wales, and my good buddy Justin, Tennessee, partner in crime. We're back. We had a little bit of a bye week. We were hoping to do a sort of Instagram live last week, but I was down for the count with a bit of man flu. So we had to put that on the bye. But so we're back. Unfortunately, Eagles lost last week. But it's Kelly Green week. It's Dallas week. Dallas sucks. And as you can see, I had to pull in the big guns for this new episode to start off the new year. I got, I've been a big fan of hers for a number of years now, since, me, myself, Justin have, discovered WIP and Philly Sports Talk. And, the one and only Eagles Shirley. Shirl, how was your Christmas? Thank you for coming on with me and Justin, and we can't wait to have you here today.
Hello, everyone out there in the world. I want to say, since we from UK and Tennessee, all around the world. So hello, everyone from the world. My Christmas was beautiful. I was with my family. We did a taco thing. We did this a couple of years ago, and it was a smash hit. So any and everything that you can put on a taco.
Ooh.
So we had the pulled pork, barbecue pulled pork. We had grilled chicken, and we had the regular hamburger grind, hamburger meat, and then we had all the different sides and stuff, and then we had like a jambalaya with rice and sausage on the side and the tossed salad. So it was light. Didn't nobody want stuff that remind you of Thanksgiving food, something that's all heavy and stuff. So that was so much fun, because it's just like you making different sides, everybody going for this side, everybody, and then you talking and having fun. And we watching the games, and the Sixers. Oh my goodness! So I want to jump ahead, but yeah. So Christmas was pretty
this
cool.
hope they're starting to get back a bit now. It was nice to see Joel Embiid with that aggression, and he seems like he's get a bit more locked in now. So let's hope the Sixers can keep going on a little run now down the stretch. Get us into
no
the
more
playoffs.
getting thrown out the game, Joel Embiid.
Okay?
No more getting. Come on. But it was good. It was good.
So,
thanks for asking.
Good, and thanks again for coming on, Shirl. Just how was your Christmas, buddy? How did it go?
What's happening, fella and lady? It was great. It was great. Had some good time with the family. Spent Christmas Eve this year. We rotate with my wife's family and my family. So this year we were with part of her family on Christmas Eve. Then, we get up and we do our thing here at the house with each other, me and my wife and my son. And then we go to my mom's, and then we rush over to my wife's mom and dad's. It's just hectic, but a lot of good food, a lot of good gifts, and just a lot of good time with family, having laughs and enjoying one another. And that's what it's all about. And, had some good food, down here, we love big meals and stuff like that. So we had turkey and dressing and ham and mashed taters and mac and cheese and all that good stuff.
Oh, I can't beat mac and cheese.
Yeah. So, I mean, we had more food than we could eat everywhere we went. And then at my mom and dad's, we had breakfast. So we had country ham and biscuits and stuff like that. So, I mean, I've probably gained 10 pounds in 2 days with all the crap I've ate. So, I mean, I've got to get back on my workout.
That's
I've ate more.
A lot of fun.
I've ate more in the last few days than I have probably in the last 6 weeks. But hey, it's all part of it. But
exactly.
Like you said, glad Cheryl could be on with us this morning.
Yeah. So, obviously last week the Birds, they went up against the Commanders. Washington have been I wouldn't say maybe a big surprise this season, because Jaden Daniels, he was good in college, but you always expect the rookie quarterbacks to come in and get off to a slow start and find a bit of a rhythm in the middle. But Jaden Daniels this year, he's just been lights out since the first game to the his most recent game. And when we went up early and Jalen went out with a concussion, and I thought, we've Kenny come in, and I wouldn't say he had an awful game. I thought he held his own in spots. He made some big throws to AJ, and there was things he could have done better. But the defense created turnovers, but then they gave up the points in the second half to let Washington come back, and then you just knew on that last drive that they were I
Yeah.
mean, if Devontae catches the ball, then they
Yeah.
most likely go on and win the game. They were in control. That possession going down the field was quite good. So he didn't catch it, and you just knew if Jaden got the ball back, it was going to be tough for the defense, I think. So, how do you both sort of feel coming off that loss now last week? We got Dallas tomorrow, and we most likely could be going up against Washington in the playoffs. So,
Right.
how you sort of both feeling? Shirl, I'll go with you first. How are you feeling after last week?
So, of course, I don't want us to lose to nobody in our division, especially the way we handled Washington the first go around, and we was on our way to do the same thing because he's a young quarterback. He's going to be Jaden Daniels going to be great. He's going to be wonderful. But I needed our team with the veterans on our team to just show him a little bit like, okay, young man, this is not your time, not against us. However, once Jalen, our quarterback, got out the game, it just seemed like the momentum switched from us having the momentum to, okay, now we got a chance. And I felt as though that Washington, they adjusted and we did not adjust. Once Kenny Pickett got in the game, you could tell that although he did make some great plays, but we did not score a touchdown with him in the game. So I'm going to put majority of the blame on the Coach Nick Sirianni, and the coordinators for not making, or the Keller, for not making sure that Pickett was in the best possible situation. Now, disregard the drop balls from Shaquan and from Smitty. Other than them dropping the balls, which we should have never got to that point, I feel once Jalen got out the game and CJC, he was a big playmaker on defense. Once he got out that game, not the last touchdown, the touchdown before the last, that would have never happened.
Yeah.
With CJC, they targeted his side when he was out the game. Now, with all of that being said, I am glad, and hear me clearly, I don't like how we lost, but I'm glad we lost the game. Because going into the playoffs with all this winning, and I'm not thinking about the Chiefs because they'll get there soon, but you got to make sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that you can win all the way out and win that Super Bowl.
Yep.
So I was a little nervous. I said, we win it. Are they going to sit the players? Now, we win tomorrow. Sorry, we win on Sunday against Dallas. Then what? Yes, I think we need to sit. Would they sit on Barkley? Will he go after the record? Will he reach 2,000 rushing yards? There's so many questions, but I care about the safety of the team.
Yeah.
In some record. And I know Shaquan Barkley does, he care about the team more than any individual thing. But us going up against Dallas, we need to beat them. We need to just go ahead and get that over with so some of the players can rest. You know? So that's my take on our game last week against Washington.
So I guess piggybacking off what Shirley said, I knew, what was it, 10 in a row we had won. I didn't think we would, run off 12, 13 in a row going into the playoffs. And sometimes that's not a good thing, running off that many in a row, because you kind of get a little full of yourself. I didn't want to lose the game, but I had it in my head when we were up the way we were and how we were playing early. Even when Jalen got hurt, I'm like, we got this. And they kept turning the ball over to us. And I'm like, we got it. We're going to win. But I think like what Shirley said, they didn't adjust the game plan at the half for Kenny. You have a totally different game plan when you have Jalen Hurts as a quarterback as to where you have Kenny Pickett in at quarterback. It's two totally different quarterbacks. This goes back to something I told on the Go Birds show many, many times. If you have a mobile quarterback who is good with his legs, who can run around, why not have that same type of backup? Baltimore done it a couple of years ago with Tyler Huntley and Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry. If you have a versatile, explosive quarterback like a Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, somebody who can make things out of nothing, who can, I'm sorry for my language, but I mean, this is what my mama used to say. She can make chicken salad out of chicken shit. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Why not have that same type of quarterback you don't really have to change the game plan for.
Mm.
But
Right.
that's another story for another day. I agree with Shirley. I think a loss like that can like get the team to come together, say, hey, what did we do wrong here? Defense gave up 22 points in the fourth quarter. We were killing these guys,
Oh my.
and we just let it go. Yes, Jaden Daniels is a really good quarterback. He is. He was a top 5 pick for a reason. He was great in college, Heisman Trophy winner, and all that stuff.
Mm.
But talent wise, they do not have the talent on that team that we do, that we have on our team. And when Chauncey got thrown out of that game, like I said, Shirley was hitting it out of the park, hitting on all my points. But he is the leader of the back end of that defense, man. He's the vocal leader. He's the energy leader. All that, he brings it all to that defense. And I still don't understand why he got thrown out. They never did show anything. And it's like,
Yeah.
we heard Seth saying on the radio this week, you got to know where the line is and stuff like that. Maybe the refs were telling him, calm down with the talk, calm down with the talk. We're getting tired of the talking. Maybe they had warned him a couple of times. But still yet, man, I mean, it had to be something egregious that he said to get that second unsportsmanlike to get thrown out of the game.
Yeah.
Can I just say something real quick? So as they were showing it, they was all in the huddle. So the fact that the ref stood there while he was talking, instead of having them break up, that part right there, I can't get out of my head.
Yeah.
You literally was standing there in the huddle with them while whatever they were saying, the ref, you was standing there. You were standing there. Why not break them up then? Just break them up. And whatever CJG said the last time, it made the guy swing on him. And now you throws a flag and you throw him out the game. You throw CJ. Why were you standing there and allowing it to go back and forth? Nobody was pushing nobody apart. That's the part I don't get. Why stand there and listen to it?
That was one of the most frustrating things last week.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a big factor why they lost, but the refs played a part in that game. When when Kenny Pickett slid, and I can't remember the name of the defender that came in, and he missed him with his head, but the knee still made contact with Kenny's helmet, and they threw the flag, and it was there for a few seconds, and then all of a sudden, no, they pick it up, and it was just like, come on, like what give us a break. What are we gonna do? And going back to Chauncey Gardner, I was really gutted for him last week because he was playing a really good game on defense.
Yeah.
He probably one of the best games that he's played all season, and he seems now to have really found his stride in the backfield as a leader, because I think there was some question marks at the beginning of the season when he come back because he was missing tackles. Everyone was missing tackles at the start of the season, but there was a bit of, you criticised Darius Slay a little bit, and then there was a bit of a doubt where is he fitting back in like we thought he would. But now since that bye week, like they all have, he's come out and he's adjusted his attitude, he's adjusted his play, he's locked in, and he's become a great leader and a great player again for us on the defense. So it was just the refs were really disappointing again, and the NFL, as a whole, it's got, everyone says every week, they've got to start reassessing the way the refs are looking at these games, because it's just, you don't want to get to a point where, like in baseball, in MLB, where they're talking about bringing in robot umpires, and then you're going to be talking about bringing in, more robot referee technology sort of thing. You don't want that for football.
Well, they're going to lose fans. I'll tell you that much.
Exactly. But they've got to find a way.
I can't identify with no robots now. I'm sorry.
They've got to find a way to get it fixed, because otherwise there's going to be that talk coming in. So, it was a gut punch of a loss, but it was weird because when I was sitting there last week and I was watching us just go, we were up like 21 points by the end of the first quarter, and it was like I think we've seen a game like this for a while, and against Washington, who are, they haven't quite, like Justin said, they haven't quite got the weapons that we have, but they've got a pretty good physical defense who can make things tough for you if they want to. And to see him getting beat up on that with Jalen out the game as well, that was, and I just sat there and it was just, it should have felt really good watching us beat up on them like that, but because there was so much football left to play, I was just getting more and easier and easier. And when we were creating the turnovers, then uh, nothing was coming from the turnovers. We weren't putting any more. I think we put a couple of field goals maybe from them from
3,
Jake Elliott,
9 points. Yeah,
and that was it. There was no
that was
touchdowns
it.
from it, and that was the disappointing part. And then obviously it fell apart late in the game for the defense. So Dallas this week, Micah Parsons, he's
Ah,
talking a bit of nonsense now. He suddenly now he hates Philadelphia. Well, we all know he doesn't.
we know he
He
wants to come home for real, for
Yeah.
real.
yeah, he
You want to
wants.
come
Yeah.
home. You saying
It's
all the opposite stuff. So at the end of the day, baby, I'm not even mad at Michael Parsons. Whatever you need to do to hype yourself up, because you're the missing piece on our defense from Pennsylvania. You're the
oh
other piece that's from Pennsylvania that should be here. So if you get to see or watch this Michael Parsons, I know Jerry Jones said he ain't gonna let you go, but at the end of the day, money talks and BS walks. So you are Philadelphia. You are an Eagle, man. I'm
yeah.
speaking that to your life, your spirit. I'm speaking it to existence.
Come on, Shirl.
Preach,
That's why
Shirley.
I wanted you on here this week, Shirl, because I need a little bit of my confidence sort of restored after last week. I hate watching this team lose. I don't like to be one of these fans where it's like your mood for the week sort of depends on the Eagles winning, but it plays a little bit of a part. It's like we're so used to winning now. You know what I mean? For a long
Yeah,
time, before
yeah,
the Super Bowl and when Carson had his downfall, there was a lot of losing. So
yeah.
Jalen took control. He became the starter. He took us to the Super Bowl. Last year was pretty good up until the
Oh gosh.
collapse. It, it,
Last
it,
year we was scraping and still winning. That did not feel good at all. This
yeah,
year, the way we're winning by any means, the way it feels good. You feel the confident. But
yeah,
when we got down to the 2-minute warning, and I told my grandson, I was like, I don't feel good about this.
mm,
I said, but anything can happen. That's what I love about football. Anything can happen.
yeah,
And what we got the ball back with like 6, 8, 6, whatever seconds or whatever. We
yeah.
couldn't really do nothing with that. I'm like,
No,
oh my gosh, the
that was
whole
the
game.
disappointing thing when Reed Blankenship, made that interception off of that
Yes.
off Slay's breakup, and I thought we
Yep.
got the ball back now. Like you said, it was like 5-6 minutes to go. I thought, and they were driving, and then just nothing came from it, and it was just if we'd got that touchdown, that would have iced the game. I think.
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah, it'd
would
have
have.
been over.
Yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
over. So that was disappointing. So with all the sort of injuries to Dallas now and CD Lamb, they're shutting him down for the rest of the season. How do you think? They're on a 4-game winning streak, the Cowboys, I think. So, how do you both sort of think they're gonna match? Do you think Vic Fangio now is gonna, he's gonna get the defense corrected and he's not gonna allow the same sort of errors that happened last week?
Yeah, no
So,
excuse. Oh, go ahead, Justin.
um,
I'll let you go ahead, Justin.
well, as far as the defense goes, the one thing I am concerned about, it seems like the defensive line is starting to run out of gas a little bit. Like the pass rush just isn't getting home like it was when BG first got injured. There were guys picking it up, and I know Jalen Hunt has really played well as a third
Mhm.
round rookie. I saw something where his time to pressure rate is one of the highest among rookies who are getting so much playing time. So I think maybe Fangio starts dialing up maybe a little bit of blitz packages or something. I saw on the practice report where N'Kobe was possibly doubtful with an abdomen injury, which that does not bode well. I think Traylon Burks might be the first man up in his spot instead of Trotter Jr. So I don't I don't know what to expect this week. To be honest with you, to me against Washington, and it may have just been because Jalen Daniels was running all over the place. It seemed like they were running out of gas, and chasing that kid around probably will make you run out of gas.
Yeah.
But we're missing that energy and the spark that BG brought. As a 35-year-old man, that dude brought all the energy and spark in the world of that defensive line.
Oh,
So I think with everything, like if you win tomorrow, you can basically say we get a bye the next week. Okay,
Right.
the number one seed's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
But we
yeah,
can rest the majority of our starters against the Giants in that final game. So these guys have to know what's on the line, the defense. Cowboys, like you said, CD Lamb is out. They don't have a whole lot semblance of a running game, but they do have that. What's his name, Turpin?
Yeah.
That kid is a freaking electric factory. I mean, the ball gets in his hands, you don't know what's going to happen.
And
That kid
special
is a
teams
fun.
struggled last week, didn't they? So
That exactly. So if we're not kicking it 5 yards deep into the end zone on every kickoff, somebody ought to get their crack kick shut, in my opinion. I mean, there is no reason to kick it to the 5 yard line or the 2 yard line to give opposing teams the opportunity to get to the 35, 40 yard line. That was
Right.
another bugaboo for me in that Washington game. Their average field position start off the kickoff was like 40 on the 40 yard line. That is atrocious. So
yeah,
we've got to get that fixed. But yeah, it looked like the defensive line was running out of gas a bit. But I also, like I said, I attribute that to them having to chase Jaden Daniels all over the place because that kid's just like a little jitterbug all over the place,
yeah,
making people miss. But go ahead, Cheryl.
Now, I think that what you're saying, Justin, and the frustration. I
Yeah,
think I'm telling you that once CJC got kicked out that game, it was like, so what can we do? What can we can't trash talk now? We can't we gotta be careful, we gotta be mindful. And if they was tired, they probably succumb to that instead of fighting against that and just keeping it moving. Because athletes, they fight through when they tired. Because they know what's on the line. But when certain things keep stacking against you, you're going to give in eventually because you're human and you're not Superman. So that game, I think what they learned from that game, what they took from that game is, listen, I don't care what happened, who's against us. We playing against the team, and then we playing against possibly the fans and the rest. But now we home, right? So we're in our home turf. We at the link, and everything far as our fans, that's for us. Now we playing against Dallas. Y'all know every year we play them twice a year. What happened last week with Washington? That cannot happen. That cannot happen. We got too many people out. Think about the guys that's out hurt that wish they was in this game playing against Dallas. Don't you wish Jalen he was healthy, fully healthy to play against, Dallas, and whoever else is out. I need Coach Nick Sirianni. I need the both coordinators and a special teams coach. I need to up their game to the point treat Dallas as if this is a playoff game.
yeah.
Because right now they are in our way. They're in our way, and we need our guys to finish this game with a win and healthy.
yeah,
That's one of my main concerns. We need them to come out of that game healthy. My son has this theory that Jalen is okay. They sitting him out, because of how Dallas, want to play against quarterbacks, whatever. And they don't have anything to lose. So I said, well, the concussion protocol is a lengthy process. I said, at the end of the day, we do need Jalen, like you said, for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I want our guys to be healthy, but I also want to send a message. I want to send a message too that you're not going to just talk trash and we're going to get on that turf and just be quiet. No, we're going to show you what we're going to do on the field. And I really believe if CJC talking your trash, and if the guys tell you to be quiet, then just go ahead and be quiet because we need you. As you see, you were needed in that game towards the end.
yeah,
Y'all would have never got that. They would have threw your way. And if they would have thrown your way, you would have batted it out, caught the intercept. You would have done something.
yeah,
Oh, gosh. Every time I think about how important guys are, they are so important.
So
When they're not on the field. Like you said, BJ, who's that BJ? He's that BJ. But Brandon Graham don't get kicked out the game.
yeah. So
Yeah.
real quick, let me ask y'all a question about this. We're talking about Chauncey Gardner Johnson and how him getting kicked out of the game affected it. Last year we saw Sidney Brown, who was a rookie, get a lot of playing time, played well in his playing time, and he's come back from injury. But they're putting in McCollum instead of Brown, and I thought Brown was kind of on a trajectory of
yeah,
getting a lot of playing time. Is it just not a fit right now? Is he not 100%? What do y'all think? Because I mean, Sidney Brown looked really good last year as a rookie. When this kid gets out there on special teams, he plays like his hair's on fire, man.
Yeah. I think to me personally, it's more of he may not be all the way well because him and Maddox, when you think about it, them two was playing lights out. but they get injured. They get injured
Yeah.
Yeah,
quickly. I mean, quickly, and
all the time.
they a big presence on the field. And when they just see the ball. They just see the ball and they go right after that ball. And if it happened to be in your hand, then I'm coming after you. But to me, I think it's more of the injury than anything. I could be totally wrong, but that's a great question. Something to
Yeah,
monitor and look after too.
it's a shame with Sidney Brown because, like you said, just last season he was going up and up and up, and then obviously the injury, and last week you could tell, maybe it's just like he's not getting enough reps and stuff because he ran off sides at the start of one of the special team kickoffs, and then that gave a penalty, and you can sort of tell that things aren't quite right. So I think, I don't know. I guess just Vic Fangio is just holding him back a little bit, just to sort of maybe,
Protect him a little bit.
protect his
Yeah,
health a little bit, protect his mindset. Just keep getting him accustomed to defense, and maybe he'll give him more of an opportunity in the playoffs. Now we'll see.
that's it.
Yeah,
Keyword. Where do we really need him?
yeah,
Playoffs.
that's it
So
exactly.
let me pose another question. I think I've asked Adam this, and if I've not, I'm sorry. I thought I had. As far as Jake Elliott goes, we've all seen him struggle all year long,
Mm,
and this is my theory. We've got Braden Mann doing kickoffs. We punt more in games, it seems like, than we do field goals. So why not let Jake kick off and let him kick it 5-10 yards deep into the end zone to get him into the game more, to get him loosened up a little more, instead of the first game action he sees, you're trotting him out there for a 50-yard field goal. Let him do kickoffs. Let him handle that. All he's got to do is kick it 5-10 yards deep into the end zone, and you're keeping the leg loose. You're getting him into the game. You're getting him acclimated into the game a little more. I don't understand that. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Because if it were me, I'd let Jake handle kickoffs and Braden handle punts. That's my theory. What do y'all think?
That's a good point. Being at the game, what game was I just at? Doing stuff that we don't get to see because we're not at the game. So during the halftime, during like commercial breaks, well, y'all see it on the sidelines, but during halftime, the kickers are out there and they out there kicking. I mean, practicing. They out there practicing throughout the whole time.
mm,
And Jake Elliott and the other punter that we was playing against, kicker, they both was making it. So I don't know what happened where he was missing. I think it's more of a mental thing than anything, because he can make those kicks. He can get that ball over through the H. He can get that ball, through that. So the fact that the switch up him, I don't think they would. I don't think they would do that because one, the salary of who's getting paid to do what. You know what I mean? And then it's probably in his contract. So that's something that they can play around with. But do they want to? They've done it before where he
Yeah.
has, punted. They have done that, but for him to constantly do that, I don't think they would. They want to risk, his foot. Hopefully nothing, goes wrong. But
So
I don't think they
you're
want to
thinking
risk
they
his
don't put him out. You're thinking they don't put him out there on kickoffs to keep from pulling a hamstring or something like that. They just want him out there for field goals to reduce risk of injury. If he's going to get hurt, he's going to get hurt kicking a field goal, not kicking it off
Yeah,
and
more
stuff like
more
that.
so that. And if they
Okay.
need him the punt return, they have used him before in that capacity. But I don't think it would be like every time we put him out there, for that and the kick. So, and then he's practicing on the sidelines, and so every time, I don't know if you ever tried to kick a field goal before, just playing around. I've tried it. That ball is so hard.
Yeah.
mm.
So the fact that he's able to bend his foot a certain way, and the ball kind of it don't look like it is on the point of his toe. It look like it's a certain way how they kick that ball.
Yeah.
That ball is hard. I mean, ice cold, and you imagine when it's freezing cold outside.
Oof. Yeah.
So they have to be careful of when they use him, like, or how much they use. I'm sorry, but that's a good point. Why not? But I think that's something that they can do with special teams, that they can play around if they choose to, to bring him out there to do that. But like you said, don't kick that ball to tip it. Don't do that. Kick it in the all the time. Kick it all the way out. Kick it in the stands. I don't care.
Yep.
Well, he did a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? There was that clip where he kicked it and it like hit a fan in the crowd by
Oh
accident.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean that like
Yeah,
that. Not
that
that.
was unfortunate. But yeah, I don't think it's a case of like Jake is injured or anything like that. But you can definitely see that when he's, every kick that he attempts and even the kicks that he does make this year, that there's something off there. You can just tell he doesn't quite have the same sort of confidence as he's walking up to the ball, and it's a strange one with Jake. And like me and Justin have talked about it. There could be a game in the playoffs, where it could be like a kicking game. We hate seeing these sort of field goal games, but it could be, both defenses are locked in. They're very good, and both offenses can't get anything going, and it comes down to the kickers for most of the game. And Nick is going to have to put Jake out there, and it's just
Yeah.
it is getting a bit worrying as where before, there was no problem. Like, I talk about all like in the Buffalo game last season, Jake went out there, he made that 60-yarder like it was nothing to get us to overtime, and it was incredible. It was one of the best kicks I've ever seen since I've been a fan, and it was amazing. And now he's just about making the 50-yarders, which is crazy to think, because that's like his bread and butter. But there we go. I maybe next season he'll be back to what he is, but I think this year it could just be, it's just going to be a struggle for him, I guess. I mean, you can't be perfect every year, but
Yeah.
there's moments where you need players to be perfect, I suppose, to a
Yeah.
certain degree. But yeah, he just hasn't quite found that this year, I guess. But yeah,
I have a
I love Jake
question.
Elliott, so I think you get back to it, but it just might not be this year, unfortunately. So yeah, I wanted to both ask you next. With Jalen out now in the in the concussion protocol, and it was said yesterday he's definitely out. It's mad to think that we're in, we were in a similar situation in 2022 when we had to lock up the 1 seed, and Jalen injured his shoulder and he was out for a couple of games, and they just couldn't get it done, and they had to rely on him to come back against the Giants to lock it up. And now tomorrow he's hurt again, with a concussion, and we got to rely on Kenny to come in and win the NFC East, and hopefully that locks up the 2 seed as well. So do you think Kenny is how do you think he's going to fare tomorrow? You know, I hate being in this situation again. So and Kenny Pickett, he's got his faults. So how do you think Kenny's going to be able to get it done, or will they come to a point where they're going to have to call in Tanner McKee?
Well, I think from last week the coaches knew that they didn't put him in the best predicament or best scenario, and you got to also remember, when you go back for a possible concussion, that don't mean that you're out of the game. So were they planning to keep him in the? Were they planning for Jalen to stay out the game? Throughout the whole game, or was Jalen going to stay out for a couple of snaps or whatever, and then come back in? You know what I mean? So it's a lot that they had to think about. Get ready for Pickett, get ready for some different plays for Pickett, or no, let's still keep the game plan that we have. Just pull certain things out, and then we give it to Kenny, because these plays are for Shaquan, or they for AJ Brown, or they for Smitty. You know what I mean? They had to think about so many things that towards the end of the game, you started seeing, well, they're not putting him in the best position. But now that Jalen is out of the game, and he practiced this week with the number ones, Kenny Pickett, and Jalen was out there, but I think he took more of the snaps than anything. They was kind of gearing this time, preparing. So we're going to see something totally different this Sunday against Dallas. Kenny's going to be more prepared from his coaches. They're going to put him in a better position, and he need his offense, Barkley, AJ Brown, our tight end. We need to get him in more, involved besides Smitty. Watkins, Shipley. We need them more involved than just the guys that's out there. So I hope that the coaches, the coordinators, and Nick Sirianni, I hope they really do, mix it up a little bit more for Kenny Pickett, because we're gonna need all hands on deck, because Jalen thinks differently.
Yeah.
And he's a runner. He got his legs, so we don't need Kenny to go out there and no, we
Well,
need
he's
him
going to
to
be
win
wearing
the game.
extra padding for his ribs as well. So I mean,
That too.
that doesn't bode well either. And yeah, this is could possibly be a Kellen Moore sort of game, because it's gonna show this week, how good an offensive coordinator he really is, because he's there's always this talk around Kellen Moore that he's this guru, and he's an up and coming young coordinator, future head coach. So this is going to be a big test for him this week, because
and he played against, and he worked for Dallas.
Yeah.
So he want to beat them too.
Yeah. So he's got to give it his all this week and put Kenny in the right position, because like you said, Jalen is a runner. Kenny, with his ribs, if they're not 100%, he's going to be more of a statue around there. So then they're going to be relying on Saquon, and you don't really want to. Saquon doesn't care about breaking this record. I don't think. Obviously, he'd probably like to break it if it happens. That would be amazing. But he's shown since the beginning that he's all as a team player. He's a team guy, and that comes from Jalen. That comes from the top down. So it goes to show just how much calmness, and like Jalen said last year, he's the temperature. He sets the temperature in the room, and it is they all rely on him. So it's Kenny's got to step up now and show that he's been a starter in the NFL, and he's got to show a bit of leadership as well.
Yes.
So as far as the game plan, I think the game plan, like y'all said, it's going to be totally different for Kenny Pickett. They've had a week to prepare. I think they've known all along that Kenny would be the guy this week, that Jalen, because usually when guys go into concussion protocol, they normally miss a game. One way or another, they take so much precautions nowadays compared to what they used to. I think it was a foregone conclusion that Jalen would be out. So the game plan is going to be more complimentary of Kenny Pickett and what he can do. I don't think Kenny Pickett took a single snap from under center in that game. I don't know if he can or not. I mean, I watched him play in Pitt, but not a great deal. But I don't know if he can or not. But anytime they were in shotgun and there was no read option, they knew to key in on Saquon, because they knew Kenny was not going to keep that ball out of shotgun. Now, you can run the ball more effectively out of pistol with Kenny Pickett, but put him under center and let Saquon get a 7-yard head start instead of just taking a snap and handing it off. Put him under center and let Saquon get going. And also, we know that Pickett's dealing with a rib issue and stuff like that, but here's something. I go back to what I said at the first of the show. God forbid Kenny gets injured even further and he can't finish the game and Tanner McKee has to come in, but I would venture to guess that the game plan would be more ready for Tanner McKee as backup as it was for Kenny Pickett last week as backup, because they're more of a similar type of quarterback. They're more of a pocket quarterback. And like you said, they're not going to risk having Kenny run around unless a play breaks down. You can't stop a guy's instinct.
No, there will be
if he sees if he sees a hole open up in the middle of the field and there's nobody within 10 yards, he's going to take off and slide for, get a 5-yard gain. That's just that's instinct. You can't take that away from a guy. No. But I think if, God forbid, something does happen and Pickett can't finish the game, then it's going to be more suited for Tanner McKee to come in and finish it. I've heard, I've not looked at it, but Shirley, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong. I've heard there's a lot of rain projected for tomorrow's game. So we know it's going to be a battle. And I'm sorry, but I'm going back to our buddy Ike Reese talking about Kenny in the small hands, Kenny two gloves, got the two gloves. So I don't know how that's going to work in the rain either, with him being able to grip and throw the ball.
Is it a 50-50 chance just of rain?
As far as Tornado Shapiro, 50% chance of rain, 50% chance of clear skies out of WWWIP.
Yeah.
It's raining now, so they practice, and outside weather. They can practice inside their they indoor facility. So at the end of the day, they practice in both. So they use the weather regardless if it's inside or outside doors. So
Yeah.
But
it would be his hands. He will be all right. He will be all right.
I think the game plan is going to be based around running the ball. It's going to be a Saquon Kenny Gainwell type of game, I believe. I don't think Dallas's run defense is near as good as Washington. Washington's got some big old boys up front at D tackle.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a Saquon game. Now, as far as the record goes, the only way I think Saquon plays next week, and a lot of our starting offensive line play next week, if we win tomorrow, the only way those guys play is if Saquon, I will say, is within 70 yards or less of the record. That is the only way that he plays next week. And they will leave it up to him. Do you want to go for it or not? Do you want to go for it?
I don't think he would do it. Justin, I don't think he would do it.
Because it's going to be a bye not only for him, but some of those offensive linemen, the receivers. They're not going to trot him out there for the record and leave AJ and Smitty on the sideline and trot out who's the big kid out of Florida State, Johnny Wilson and Jahan Dotson. They're not going to trot those guys out there. If he's going for the record, they're going to trot the starters out on offense, receiver, and like Shirley said, Grant Calcaterra. Kenny's got to look at Grant Calcaterra as a security blanket. He needs to have that out there in the flat, kind of sitting down in the middle of the zone or whatever. Calcaterra didn't even have a target last week
at all.
So I mean, that's another good point that Shirley hit on. You've got to rely on everybody, not just AJ, not just Devontae, but everybody.
That's the thing, you've noticed, everyone's noticed the last couple of weeks that Saquon's been getting a little, nicked up here and there. You can sort of see that something has been bothering him, and obviously he's been able to play through it. So it's getting to that stage now where it's like, we need to get this win tomorrow, lock it all up, so we can lock everyone down. Because it's just, there's so many guys like Dallas Goedert, he's still out. We're not going to have him back. Yep. We might not have him back for the first round of the playoffs. We don't really know how he's progressing with his recovery. So hopefully he will be there, but we don't know. So, we can't afford to lose any more key. AJ Brown, his knee is giving him a little tweak this week in practice. So it's, and we've had some physical games this season. This last stretch against the Ravens and the Steelers. Those are two big physical.
They play us hard.
Yeah.
They play us hard. They come for us. Yeah. They come for us.
They know they come for this defense. They know, this. I mean, who would have thought this season the defense was going to be what it has become? Because, everyone thought, it's a young defense. There's only a couple of veterans like BG and Slay left on. It's going to be a work in progress. As good as Vic Fangio has been throughout his career, it's his first season with the Eagles, putting the defense together. Yeah. A lot of them are young. We've got these rookie corners in Cooper DeJean and Quinn Mitchell. We didn't know how good they were going to be, and obviously they've been absolutely phenomenal. And now the whole defense has been phenomenal.
What about the Georgia Bulldogs? Woo! Jalen Carter. Oh my God. I love that boy. I love him so much.
I think I got all into this defense was it was during the I know the Jaguars game. I mean, that was another one. We were up big in that game and they were coming back and I was like, what is happening? What is happening? And then Kobe Dean makes that big interception to seal the game. And I think then I sort of it brought me into it then, like the mental toughness of the defense, because they didn't waver towards the end of that game. They kept plugging away, and then you've seen all the mic'd up clips afterwards of N'Kobe on the sideline, and he, it was just amazing. And Howie has got me and Justin have spoken about this every week, I think, as every week goes on. He has got to sign Zach Bourne. You cannot leave that man go in the offseason. You can't leave another linebacker leave this place.
Mark my words, he's an Eagle for life. Trust me.
Yeah.
Vaughn is an Eagle for life.
To.
This man is just, he found his home. Put it like that. He found his home.
Yeah. And him and N'Kobe together, they seem like they formed a really good partnership. They like to play together. They two of the, big leaders in the defense now. They've really both stepped up and he's just a tackling machine. I mean, N'Kobe has been fantastic this season as well. Yeah. We finally got to see what a healthy N'Kobe Dean looks like, because we haven't really got to see that. I mean, and Justin, I know you're about to say it, Nolan Smith.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I was about to say.
I know.
Adam's reading my mind, Shirley. It's
Don't
crazy.
forget about Cooper DeJean. Don't forget about
Yeah,
Cooper.
I
Well,
mean,
preseason on Go Birds, they were asking for player predictions, and I think I probably called in the second hour of this show that day, and I'd listened to the whole show, but I was kind of waiting, let people get stuff out of the way, and I told our boys James and Elliot, I said, all right guys, look out for Nolan Smith. I said, I think it's going to be a breakout year for him because there were people just so down on him. Is he a bust? Why did we waste that 30th overall pick? I said, watch out. The guy came in. He had a little bit of an injury like at the combine. Then he got hurt in preseason, hurt his shoulder, stuff like that. And I told him, I said, this guy's going to have anywhere between 8 and 10 sacks this year. Right now he's sitting on 7.5 or 2 games left. Probably a game. He probably won't play a whole lot that final game against the Giants if we got the 2
yeah,
seed locked up. But I told him, I said, look, and they were like, well, what gives you that idea? I said, he went through 2 defensive coordinators his rookie year, a shoulder injury. I said, he's going to have a true, real life professional defensive coordinator as his coach. I said, I'm telling you, this kid's going to be good. Don't give up on him yet. And Elliot was like, okay, I'll write that down. So I'm going to remind Elliot of that when I call Go Birds today. So it's Nolan Smith. I'm pretty sure he's sitting on 7.5 sacks. And I
yeah,
told those
seven
boys
and
he's
a
going to
half.
have 8 to 10 before the season's over. So I mean, I'm all over it. So we'll see.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
And Zach Bond, I think Zach Bond's going to be an All-Pro. Our boy
Oh,
Corey
he
in
has to be.
Columbus.
Yeah.
Our boy
Oh, without
Corey
a
in
doubt.
Columbus said a couple of weeks ago, if you go back and look at the stats at the same point in time, the year that Luke Kuechly won Defensive Player of the Year for Carolina, Zach Bond had the exact same stat line and more sacks than Luke Kuechly did that year. Zach
Wow.
Bond could be an All-Pro guy. So yeah, he has to be an Eagle next year.
Yeah.
Has to be an Eagle.
Has to be. We
Love it.
can't leave another linebacker go of his caliber. He's just
No.
been too good. I mean, if they, you know, Howie is not a stupid man. You know, he's shown that. You know, he's got to see that. Yeah, he always finds the money somewhere. You know, and you know, like Jeffrey Lurie, you know, he's just sold some of the team. So you know, there's new money obviously going to be invested in the team now. So there's going to be money there to get Zach signed. So it just has to happen. So
It will
yeah,
happen. It will
yeah.
happen.
So before we head towards the end of the show, you know, we do a little segment, call Justin's College Corner every week. Now, this is a delicate week this week because obviously the Vols they went out last week, unfortunately, to Ohio State. It wasn't really a close game, unfortunately. So I don't want to harp on that too much. So let's sort of like move towards the second round of the playoffs coming up. How are we feeling about the bracket, just and you know who sort of? I know it's probably still early to have a clear favourite of who's going to win it all, but how do you think the bracket's shaping up for the second round?
Touch on Tennessee real quick. Ohio State's a juggernaut. I thought we would go in there and it would be. I didn't really think Tennessee would win, but I did think it would be closer than it was. But Ohio State came in fired up, focused, prepared, and on top of that, pissed off. So I mean, they're a great team. Hats off to them guys. They're a great team. As far as the next round of the playoff, Ohio State and Oregon, I think will be the best game of the next round. Because let's face it, all those first round games were blowouts. None of the games were relatively close at all. None of them were. But I think the game to watch this next round will be Ohio State and Oregon. Oregon won that first game at home by 1 point. And Ohio State had the ball with like 5 seconds left, and they had kind of a little bit of a brain fart to end the game. But I think Oregon wins again. But I think it's going to be a really good close game at the Rose Bowl. Penn State and Boise State. A lot of people were looking at that. Boise State. Sorry about that. I was getting a phone call.
No, we got you, Justin.
There you go.
So a lot of people were saying Boise State shouldn't really be there and all that. I don't know what to think about that because some of these Group of 5 schools, you know, they
Tell folks stop calling you. You gotta put on Do Not Disturb or something.
they're yeah, I got to. I think Penn State wins, though. I think it'll be a pretty good game, but I think Penn State wins. Notre Dame and Georgia. Georgia has their backup quarterback going because Carson Beck is injured. Notre Dame's got a hell of a defense, and it's going to be tough, but I think Notre Dame upsets Georgia. I really do. With that backup quarterback situation,
as well.
that kid did not look all that great. In the SEC championship when he had to come in, they did get the win against Texas, but I think Notre Dame gets the upset over Georgia here. And the final game is Texas and Arizona State. Arizona State's good team, fun team, but Texas, man, they're just too much all over the field. I think Texas walks the dog with Arizona State. I don't think it's even really close. I think Texas blows them out, and we'll go from there on the next week.
Shirley, how are you feeling about the college playoffs?
No, I like what Justin was saying, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be some upsets with Texas and Arizona. I think so, and I don't know Notre Dame. Who are they playing again?
Notre Dame's playing Georgia.
Georgia. I want to see a good game.
Yeah.
Put it like that. With them two, I want to see a good game, and I would never go against hometown Pennsylvania. So. Definitely going for Penn right there with Boise. But the game that I'm looking forward to watching is Ohio State and Oregon. I mean, all 8 of those teams in their own right are good, and they're there because they are there, because they won to get to where they're at, regardless of who should be there or not. They're going to make these next 4 games so interesting to watch. I just hope they're not on at the same time, or I want to record one.
No, they're not.
Because it's nothing like watching college football. Oh my goodness, you see the explosiveness, and I watch it with my grandson, who he's in the 10th grade, but he reminds you of a baby Jalen Carter. He's a big dude. He played offensive line, defensive line, defensive back.
Wow.
Playing on the O-line. He played on a varsity team for a high school here called West Philadelphia Speed Boys. And so we watched a lot of sports together, especially college. And I turned him into it, watching, all the games. And so we watched all the sports together. But today is the day. It's raining outside. Get a couple of chores going on. And then sit back and watch college football. And then the Sixers come on tonight. And what they did to Boston the other day,
oof,
baby,
that was hell of a win. That was hell of a win.
Baby, let me tell you, for Christmas, it was beautiful.
Yeah, I think the Sixers saved Christmas this year.
This is a glimpse. This is a glimpse of what we've been waiting for. With our big 3 guys. It may be a start of something because they play the Jazz tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they play again high the way they've been playing and scoring, and just once they scored the 3s, Maxey, oh my goodness, and B, these young legs, Caleb Martin,
I love Caleb Martin. He was brilliant in Miami, and I was really happy when they got him in the off season. They managed to get him. It just goes to show, once all the key pieces are together, they can get these big wins that are needed. And it's early days in the season, and you just gotta pray that Joel Embiid can keep it on top of his game.
Stop falling on the floor. Good.
Yeah, stop falling on the floor. Stop rolling on the floor. Protect your face, man. Just because his face always gets hurt every season. It's god. But so let's hope the Sixers can keep some momentum going now. So Shirley, I can't thank you enough for coming on with me and Justin today. You've I've been a big fan of you for years, and I took a chance last week. I thought I'd love to speak to Eagle Shirley because she's just fantastic. I love the what you represent as a fan. You're so enthusiastic, and you find the silver lining. and it's just great, seeing what you do. I love hearing you on WIP. I love seeing like all the help that you give to women to grow the sport, for NFL and for the Eagles, and it's just I'm a big fan, so I'm really thankful and grateful that you come on with me and Justin today. So
Of
thank you,
course.
Shirley.
Yeah, I want to echo what Adam's saying. I really appreciate it, Cheryl. Everybody knows that I started listening to WIP through the app, probably like 2018 after the Super Bowl, stuff like that.
Mm.
Been an
Right.
Eagles fan my whole life since I was like 10 years old. So that's like
Yeah.
37 years I've been an Eagles fan. But thank God for technology and these apps and stuff like that, because I've met a ton of wonderful people like Adam. Getting to finally speak to you, ma'am, it's been an honor and a pleasure having you on with us. And before I go, I can't get off here without saying, give
You
us
need
one,
a shirt.
Cheryl.
I got you. I just want to thank you all for allowing me to be a part of your show, and it's an honor. It's an honor to meet you, Adam, and you too, Justin. I appreciate you. And you talk about the football for the ladies. My website is adashashirley.com. So that's one word, ADASHOF. My name SHIRLEY.com. So at the end of anything, and people want to reach out to me, they can reach out to me through a forum there and see what's going on and what I've been doing with the NFL. And I have a lot of good stuff coming up in 2025. So I'm grateful to be a part of the sports world, sharing it with not
Yeah.
only with the guys but now with the ladies and stuff. So we doing some great things coming up in 2025. So you know how we do this. You know how I am. I'm very passionate.
Come on,
I
Shirley.
love my birds,
Come on,
your birds,
Cheryl.
Justin, Adam. So before we leave here, I got to give you one, as you had asked. Y'all ready?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go big for you.
hit it.
A, A, G, L, E, S, F, O.
Go Birds.
Let's get it, baby, and get some rest. I love you all. God bless.
Love you,
Go
Cheryl.
Birds,
Go
everyone.
Birds. Dallas
Dallas
Go
sucks.
sucks.
Birds. Thank you.
Love y'all, man.